Have you ever imagined that sharing the bed with your cat can completely transform the way you rest at night? It seems simple, but a survey published in August 2014 by Arizona Mayo Clinic brought to light impressive discoveries that changed the way we understand this night relationship. The study, conducted over 6 months, monitored 150 people's sleep habits. Half of them slept accompanied by felines, while the other half preferred the lone silence. The results challenged old assumptions and opened a new field of observation about how these hairy companions influence not only our days, but also our nights. Does having a cat in bed get in the way or improve sleep? And why do many felines insist on nestling with humans at bedtime? The answer is deeper than it seems. Science has revealed that, in addition to mutual comfort, there are physiological and emotional impacts that directly affect the sleep cycle. And yes, if your cat sleeps with you, this is a strong indication that you are someone very special to him. One of the most fascinating discoveries of the study was the ability of cats to synchronize their breath with their tutors during rest. Little is said about this subtle behavior, but it demonstrates a deep and silent connection. Sleeping side by side creates an invisible link, a tune that is born in the silence of the dawn and strengthens night after night. It is as if the two are connected by an invisible wire of trust and acceptance. If any of these attitudes of your cat made you smile or think, "He does this to me," then you know you're special to him. And if this content has helped you better understand your feline, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because here, each video is made to strengthen this silent and deep bond between you and your cat. This phenomenon goes beyond a simple coincidence. In nature, wild cats have a habit of sleeping together for protection. This survival instinct is still present in domestic cats, even centuries after domestication. That is, when a cat chooses to rest near you, it is replicating an ancestral behavior that has roots in its deepest instincts. It is not only looking for heat, but security. And this, for an animal that values its freedom above all, is a silent statement of loyalty. Another important revelation is the emotional impact of this nightly coexistence. Studies show that sleeping with an animal can reduce sensations of loneliness, anxiety, and even alleviate light symptoms of insomnia. The constant purliner, often compared to a melody of tranquility, creates a relaxing environment that favors the release of serotonin, the well-being hormone. The body, when feeling safe, naturally enters a deeper state of relaxation, allowing for a more repairing sleep. And don't stop there. The presence of the cat can serve as a form of natural thermoregulation. This is because cats, especially at colder temperatures, seek to share heat only with those who feel total confidence. When this happens, there is a body heat exchange that not only physically warms, but also reinforces effective bonds in a discreet but powerful way. The room, which is often a lonely and silent environment, becomes an emotional refuge of a silent but constant company. As you sleep, the brain continues to work, and this kind of positive interaction during sleep can have direct reflexes in the way you face the next day. People who sleep accompanied by their animals tend to report more good mood at awakening and more balanced levels of cortisol, stress hormone. In other words, your cat can be a true walking therapy, or rather a sleep, by your side. It is interesting to realize that even when everything is silent, an invisible language is happening between you and your cat. A simple touch of paw, a slow approach at night, or that specific positioning between your feet or next to your head reveals more than affection. They reveal belonging. You are part of his routine, his comfort zone, and that, for a naturally reserved animal, is gigantic. And if you are wondering if that means you are your cat's favorite, the answer is just where he chooses to sleep. Cats are selective. They do not choose anywhere or anyone to rest. If he shares the bed with you, he has already made his choice. What's more, this can be just one of the many signs that you are the center of the feline universe inside the house. But calm. We still have a lot to explore about it. At the end of this video, we will show you clear signs that prove that you are your cat's favorite person. And some of these signs may surprise you, because you may never have noticed them before. But before revealing these secrets, we still have other valuable information about the effects of this night's coexistence you need to know. As we resume the survey data conducted by Mayo Clinic, a surprising number draws attention. 41% of participants said they slept better next to their pets. An isolated data? None of that. Within the same study, a specific case gained prominence, that of a person with chronic insomnia, who realized significant improvements in sleep quality just on nights when his cat chose to be with her. What is behind this change? The secret may be in something that goes beyond physical contact. We are talking about ronronar felino's silent therapeutic power. This phenomenon, though subtle, is part of a natural process known as passive animal therapy. Without the need for specific commands or training, the simple presence of the cat, especially when lying at rest, producing its characteristic sound, acts as a natural soothing. There is something almost hypnotic in that rhythmic and continuous sound that, for reasons still being studied, induces tranquility. And the most fascinating thing is that the effects are not just emotional. The body also reacts. There is release of serotonin, reduced heart rate and decreased cortisol levels, stress hormone. Even though it is naturally active early in the morning and end of the day, typical behavior of twilight animals, many domestic cats learn to adjust their habits to the routine of humans with whom they live. Not only does this allow the owner to have a longer and more stable rest, but also reveals the level of adaptation and affection that these felines are able to develop. Sleeping together becomes a form of emotional and physical alignment. There are even specifically trained cats to accompany people with post-traumatic stress disorder. These felines are used as support during the nights in therapy centers or hospital environments, with one goal: to provide emotional safety during sleep. It is no coincidence. The vibration emitted by the ronronar acts directly on the nervous system, as if it were a continuous and comforting form of packaging. Those who suffer from anxiety or insomnia tend to get lost in repetitive thoughts or persistent anguish, and that is precisely where the cat comes in, like a link with the present, a soft presence that prevents the mind from wandering to dark places. Let us return to the idea of the therapeutic purr, since this is undoubtedly one of the central elements of this process. Its sound frequency usually varies between 25 and 150 Hz, exactly the range that scientifically has been associated with the promotion of healing and pain reduction in humans. This means that the sound emitted by your cat can have effects far beyond emotional calm. It can act as a beneficial biological stimulus, almost as a form of natural medicine that is activated during rest. Many professionals who live under strong pressure, doctors, teachers, rescuers, entrepreneurs, reported in different studies a noticeable improvement in sleep quality after including the cat in their night routine. This is not just a company, but a balanced, silent, and stable presence. The bed turns into a space not only of physical rest, but of emotional recovery. The simple gesture of caressing a cat before falling asleep is already able to slow down the mind and prepare the body for shutdown. Another relevant data of Mayo's study is the lowest stress level reported among tutors that share the bed with their cats. This suggests that this is not just an emotional perception, but something physiologically measurable. Sleep becomes deeper, the night awakenings decrease, and the feeling of welfare when waking up intensifies. A virtuous cycle forms. The more the cat participates in the rest routine, the more the tutor rests. And the more the tutor rests, the more the cat feels safe to keep dividing this space. But none of this would work if there were no, between the animal and the human, a link built in trust. Felines do not approach at night for convenience. They choose with discretion. Sleeping next to someone is, for them, a form of delivery. When they do this, they are saying, "Here I am safe. Here I can lower the guard." And this silent gesture of mutual trust is perhaps the greatest gift anyone can receive from a cat. In short, what was previously seen only as a curious habit, sharing the bed with a feline, today is already understood as a practice capable of bringing real, emotional, and psychological benefits. Science confirms what many tutors already felt intuitively, that their cats not only do company during the day, but act as silent guardians of night rest. And if you still have doubts that your cat considers him special, wait just to find out in the next part, the cleaner behavioral signs that you are, in fact, the #1 person in his heart. What began as an affectionate gesture soon proved to be extraordinary. A newly operated tutor noticed something unusual. Every time his cat was sitting near the surgery site, the pain seemed to decrease. Even more curious, healing advanced faster than predicted by doctors. Coincidence? Science disagrees. Several surveys confirm that the sound emitted by cats to ronronar can have real physiological effects on the human body. The vibrational frequency of this vocalization, usually between 20 and 140 Hz, is directly linked to tissue regeneration, acceleration of injury healing, and strengthening bone structures. What seemed just a relaxing sound proved to be a sophisticated biological tool. It is as if cats carried within themselves a natural technology capable of stimulating the human body to heal. This discovery led to the emergence of several studies that investigated the impact of living with cats on people's overall health. A survey conducted over a decade has revealed a surprising data. Cat owners have up to 30% less risk of having a heart attack or stroke compared to people who have never lived with felines. The simple fact of sharing life with a cat, listening to its purr, living with their daily habits, is enough to transform the tutor's physical and emotional well-being. And this connection goes beyond bedtime or company in difficult times. It also manifests itself in other unexpected areas, such as the prevention of allergies. A story that caught the attention of the experts came from an American family who, even dealing with severe respiratory allergies, decided to challenge medical logic. They adopted not one, but 2 cats. The decision seemed absurd at first glance. After all, everyone knew that the couple's son had a history of serious allergic reactions. However, 5 years later, the boy had impeccable respiratory health. Without crises, no sneezing, no signs of asthma. What happened? The answer may be an early exposure to the allergens present in the hair and skin of cats. When contact with these elements occurs since childhood, the immune system recognizes them as harmless, training the body to react with balance. Instead of entering emergency mode, the body develops tolerance. What was once considered a trigger now becomes a natural part of the environment. It is as if cats acted as immunity instructors, strengthening the natural defense of children who grow by their side. But when the cat doesn't sleep with you, does that mean he doesn't like your company? Not always. The answer, once again, is linked to the nature of these animals. Cats are territorialists by instinct. They prefer to observe from above, control the surroundings, and above all, choose the spaces where they feel safer. Some value their independence so much that they prefer to rest at strategic points of the house, as well as the top of cabinets, shelves, or the silent singing of the couch. It is not contempt, it is calculation. When a cat chooses not to share the bed, he is not breaking ties, he is just reaffirming his autonomy. For such a selective animal, each choice of place has a meaning. Sleep in the same space as you are an honor. Choosing another corner of the house is not rejection, it is a preference for comfort or vigilance. Many felines, for example, feel more comfortable in places with a broad view of the environment where they can observe without being noticed. In addition, factors such as temperature, mattress texture, night movement, and even sounds from electronic devices can interfere with the cat's decision. If something bothered, even minimally, it will simply seek another point. They are masters of adaptation and meticulous selection, and even when they are not in bed, they continue to show affection in other ways. Lying near, watching the bedroom door, waiting outside, or following you around the house during the day. The bond remains firm. The fact that it does not share sleep does not break the connection. It only manifests it differently. So if your cat prefers other corners to sleep, don't feel less loved. He can still trust you deeply. In fact, the true test of feline affection is in the small gestures, a head brush, a subtle meow, or the simple fact of choosing to be around, even in silence. And we have more. Next part, we will reveal almost invisible but extremely revealing signs that you have already become the most important person in your cat's world, even if he has never slept by his side. It is common to imagine that every cat who loves his tutor wants to sleep with him. But feline reality is much more complex. If your cat avoids your bed at night, it does not mean detachment or rejection. The truth is that many factors influence the decision from where a cat prefers to rest, and it all starts with instinct. These amazing felines are strategists by nature. They seek not only comfort, but safety. In many cases, human bed does not provide the desired elevation or the sense of protection that a hiding place can offer. For your cat, the top of the wardrobe, a cardboard box, or even a forgotten basket in the corner can be more attractive than your soft mattress. This is because they prioritize the visibility of the environment and the feeling of being out of reach of any invisible threat. Also, we must remember that cats are twilight animals. This means that your energy hits the peak just when you are about to sleep or even dreaming. As you surrender to rest, your cat may be in hunter mode, investigating the house, jumping into furniture, or even chasing almost imperceptible sounds. And it is not meaningless. It is part of its biological pattern. Forcing a feline to change this behavior requires more than affection, requires understanding and adaptation. Another crucial point is the sensory impact. Cats are highly sensitive to the environment. Strong smells, uncomfortable textures, constant movement, or even the sound of a high snoring can discourage your hairy friend to divide the space with you. Therefore, it is important to see if your sleep routine is unintentionally driving your cat away. Sometimes what is comfortable for you, like fluffy blankets or fragrant pillows, for him to be just an invitation to look for another place. Individual preference should not be ignored either. Just like us, cats have their particular tastes. Some may simply do not like the extreme softness of the mattress. Others do not feel comfortable with synthetic fabrics, cleaning products, or even with the temperature of the environment. A more elderly cat, for example, can avoid high beds because of joint pain or lack of mobility. In these cases, a small ramp or stairs can make all the difference and turn your bed into an accessible and inviting place. But not everything depends only on the environment. There is also the issue of hygiene. And here we enter a delicate point: the unwanted guests your cat can take to bed. Fleas, mites, and other parasites can be transported in the feline and end up compromising the health of the tutor. Therefore, if the goal is to sleep with your cat, it is essential to keep anti-parasitic treatments up to date. This not only protects you, but ensures the well-being of the animal. Another essential detail is the cleaning of the sandbox. A cat can avoid night contact if you are feeling uncomfortable with your own body hygiene. A dirty, misplaced, or strong-smelling box can generate stress and even lead it to avoid the tutor even without intention. Regular maintenance of this space is an indirect way to strengthen the bond and create a more harmonious environment. Now, if you really want to teach your cat how to sleep with you, the first step is not to force. The imposition generates resistance. Instead, offer small incentives: blankets that he already uses in other rooms, snacks at night times, soft compliments when he approaches the bed. Turn your bed into a safe, silent, and welcoming environment. Leave a part of the sheet with his smell, or put something he likes to lie around. You can also reserve a specific bed of the bed, with a little one that he recognizes as his. This prevents him from feeling invading his space while showing that he is welcome there. The secret is in the construction of routine. Cats learn with repetition, and when they feel respected, they respond with confidence. Finally, understand that every cat has its time. For some, sleeping with the tutor will be natural. For others, it will be a slow and gradual process, and that's fine. The important thing is to respect your fellow feline's personality and create an environment that favors the approach, without pressures, without exaggerated expectations. And be aware. Next part, let's reveal the most subtle and accurate behavioral signs that you are undoubtedly your cat's favorite person, even if he still prefers to sleep at the top of the closet. Don't miss it. If you really want to conquer your cat's heart and your company during sleep, you need more than just letting it go up. It is about creating a clean, safe, attractive, and positive stimuli environment. Believe me, the secret to making him want to sleep with you is in the details. Let's start with the essentials. Cats carry hair, skin particles, but occasionally unpleasant visitors. This is why changing sheets at least once a week is an indispensable practice. This simple habit eliminates dirt, allergens, and other substances that can accumulate over time. In addition, consider using a mattress protector. It not only facilitates cleaning, but also protects your bed from small accidents and feline dandruff, which, although invisible, is present even in cleaner cats. Another fundamental step is to invest in the daily brushing of your hairy companion. Brushing your cat regularly dramatically reduces hair loss and is a precious moment of bonding between you. This not only favors the animal's health, but turns your bed into a much more pleasant place for both. Less for the loose, less sneezing, less itching. Now think of bed as a shared territory. And for this space to be attractive to your cat, it needs to recognize something of you there. A good idea is to reserve a specific corner, with a blanket that he already likes or even a small cat bed that can be positioned on the mattress. This creates a safe zone, a comfort place where it feels welcomed and in control. Let's go to the practical techniques to transform this space into a feline paradise. The first tip is simple and effective. Reward the desired behavior. Cats are masters of observation. When he climbs in bed and shows signs that he will lie down, take the moment to offer a small snack. No need to exaggerate. Something simple, but which he loves, is enough to associate the bed with positive experiences. Over time, he will seek this space by his own will. Also, always have some favorite snacks around, close to the headboard or in an affordable drawer. Thus, the answer can be immediate, and positive reinforcement becomes part of the night routine. But there is an even more effective secret. Play before bed. A cat with accumulated energy will inevitably want to spend it at dawn. And if you've been through this, you know that they have no problem turning the house into a running track at 3 in the morning. To avoid this, dedicate a few minutes before bed to wrap your cat in an active joke. Whether with a wand, a ball, or even homemade objects, the goal is the same: to make him get tired in a healthy way. A physically satisfied cat tends to look more easily, and if you are available, it will want to snuggle close to you. Another important point is to respect feline independence. Cats don't like to feel stuck. Even if you want to sleep with you a lot, make sure he has the freedom to get in and out of bed when he wants. A space with easy access, without lock or closed doors, allows it to feel in control of the situation. When a cat knows he can leave when he wants, he feels safer to stay. Give him a reference inside his bed, a pillow he already wore before, a piece of his clothing, or a maintained one he smelled and approved. Having a territory designated only for him within his space is extremely valuable for such a territorialist animal. This avoids invisible disputes and reinforces the sense of security. And here is a little spoken but extremely effective tip. Let him see you prepare to sleep. Cats are silent observers. If you have a night routine, brush your teeth, turn off the lights, adjust pillows, allow it to be present. This repetition creates an expectation. Over time, he associates this ritual with the moment of rest and will be more likely to join you. All this added makes your bed more than a place to sleep. She becomes, in the eyes of her cat, a territory of peace, rewards, and affection. A place that he not only tolerates, but chooses. And this choice, as you may have already noticed, is the biggest confidence sign a cat can offer. In the next part, we will finally reveal the clearest and most surprising signs that you are, in fact, your cat's favorite person. And some of these attitudes you may have never noticed so far. There is a secret that many tutors ignore. Conquering a cat's heart does not require grandiose gestures, but constant and subtle actions. If you want to be the center of your feline universe, the key is in daily coexistence, mutual respect, and understanding what really matters to it. And as promised, it's time to reveal the simple attitudes that make you the favorite person of your cat, even without realizing it. Number 5. Offer quality time. It is true that just dividing the same space already helps build a peaceful coexistence. But it is not enough if the goal is to create a deep connection. Cats are much more perceptive than they seem. They notice when you are really present. So enjoy the moments when you are at home to interact with it intentionally. Sit on the floor at the same level of it. Play with that favorite toy that only he likes. Caress the areas you know he prefers. Be an active presence, not just someone who passes him a few times a day. But beware. Knowing your cat is essential. Each feline is a world. There are those who like lap, those who prefer affection behind the ears, those who love chase penalties, those who prefer just to watch from afar. It is in this recognition of who he is, how he acts, and what motivates him, that you begin to build a real bond. It's not just about spending time together, but using this time wisely. Cats value a lot when they realize that their preferences are noted and respected. And here comes a crucial point. Respecting space is a sign of love. If your cat is left to the top of a shelf or into a closet, do not pursue it. He is asking for silence, not emotional removal. When you allow him to have his collection moments without invading, you send a powerful message. I understand you. And for a cat, this kind of understanding is worth gold. Number 4. Become a physical comfort point. Many believe that cats sleep nearly only for thermal convenience. Although body heat is important, the emotional factor is even stronger. A cat only surrenders to sleep with someone who really trusts. To facilitate this approach, create a comfortable environment for both, A thermal carpet positioned under a soft blanket can be the perfect invitation for cold nights. He will realize that, by his side, besides warm, there is security. And security for a cat is worth more than anything else. You can also associate your presence with pleasant experiences. Cats learn fast. If every time he goes up in bed gains a fondness, a sweet word, or even a small snack, he will soon associate that space and his company, pleasure, and tranquility. Over time, he will seek you willingly. Number 3. Establish a routine together. Cats are habit creatures. They feel calmer when they know what to expect. If you feed your cat at the same time, play with him every day at a specific time, or even sit with him in a corner of the house at dusk, these little rituals create an invisible and strong link. When the routine changes and you are not there, it misses. And this is one of the biggest indications of true affection. The heart of a cat is not conquered with intensity, but with consistency. Many tutors do not realize that cats observe and memorize patterns. They know the time you usually wake up, the moment you go to the couch, the sound of your voice when you are happy or sad. Being present and predictable in your cat's life is like saying every day, "You can count on me." And that, in the feline world, is a declaration of love. Number 2. The voice that comforts. Few things impact both a cat and the tone of voice of his human. Talking to him, yes, literally talking, has powerful emotional effects. Cats do not understand all words but understand the intention. A calm, affectionate, and constant tone reassures. When you call it by name in an affectionate tone and he responds, he is demonstrating that he recognizes more than his sound, recognizes who you are for him. In the next part, we will reveal the number 1 signal, the clearest and unmistakable gesture that you have undoubtedly become the most important person in your cat's life. And perhaps, only perhaps, he's already telling you this every day. But you still don't realize over the previous parts, we have explored several factors that indicate that you can be your cat's favorite person, from daily habits to small gestures of coexistence. But there is a silent yet decisive factor that can explain why some cats create deeper ties with certain people. Personality. Like us, cats have unique temperaments. There are the shy, who prefer to observe the singing and approach slowly. There are the outgoing, who throw themselves on the lap of the first visit. Some are independent and value moments of silence. Others want constant attention, follow you around the house and always seem to be looking for an interaction. This behavioral diversity is part of what makes them so fascinating, and also why every relationship between human and feline is different. In the human universe, personality's compatibility is often what defines the strongest ties. Some people feel good with those who share their tastes and lifestyle. Others connect more with those who offer balance. The silent finds comfort in the expansion, the agitated calm with the serene. With cats, something similar happens. A reserved feline can feel more comfortable with someone quiet, who respects his time and space. Already a sociable cat can prefer that member of the house that lives moving and is always willing to play. This explains why, in homes with several people, the cat often chooses a human as his favorite. Nem sempre é o responsável pelas refeições. Nem sempre é quem passa mais tempo com ele. Muitas vezes, é aquele cuja energia emocional mais se assemelha à dele. O mais silencioso da casa. Ou o mais afetuoso. O mais constante. Ou o mais imprevisível. Não existe uma fórmula fixa, mas sim afinidades naturais, e elas nascem da observação mútua. Mas e quando essa conexão não acontece naturalmente? Quando o gato parece manter certa distância, ou parece preferir outra pessoa da casa? Isso quer dizer que a relação está fadada a ser fria? De forma alguma. Mesmo quando as personalidades não se alinham no primeiro momento, existe um caminho possível. A construção de confiança por meio do cuidado. Atender às necessidades básicas do gato, alimentação, higiene, atenção, respeito ao espaço, é o primeiro passo. Mas fazer isso de maneira consistente, gentil e atenta, pode mudar totalmente a percepção que ele tem de você. Se o gato nota que você não o força a interações, que você observa suas preferências e adapta seus comportamentos, ele começará a responder. Pode ser que ele nunca vire o gato que dorme em cima do seu peito, mas você notará outros sinais. Ele se aproximando em silêncio, observando seus movimentos, deitando no mesmo cômodo, escolhendo passar o tempo onde você está. A verdade é que nenhum vínculo se constrói do dia para a noite. E com os gatos, isso é ainda mais evidente. O afeto deles é conquistado com calma. A confiança é plantada como semente e colhida em pequenas atitudes diárias. E essa construção silenciosa, quase imperceptível, pode se revelar mais sólida do que muitas outras formas de amor mais efusivo. Um detalhe interessante é que o seu gato pode sim reconhecer traços da sua personalidade, mesmo sem palavras. Ele percebe seus hábitos, seus ritmos, sua presença emocional. E a partir disso, decide como se aproximar. Quando um gato identifica compatibilidade, ele mostra sinais discretos. Passar o corpo em suas pernas, piscar lentamente enquanto olha nos seus olhos, ronronar quando você entra no ambiente, dormir com a barriga exposta perto de você. Esses gestos, que podem parecer simples, são declarações silenciosas de confiança e carinho. Se você já vivenciou isso, então sim, seu gato já te elegeu como alguém especial. E se ainda não chegou nesse ponto, não desanime. A chave não está em ser perfeito, mas em ser constante, atento e respeitoso. E principalmente, não tente moldar o gato aos seus desejos. Em vez disso, permita-se conhecê-lo do jeito que ele é. Nesse encontro entre quem você é e quem ele é, nasce algo único, uma relação baseada na aceitação mútua. Na última parte do nosso roteiro, vamos revelar o gesto definitivo, aquele comportamento especial e raro que confirma, sem sombra de dúvida, que você é sim o humano favorito do seu gato. E se ele já fez isso alguma vez, você nunca mais esquecerá. Depois de tudo o que vimos até aqui, comportamentos, preferências, rotinas, conexões emocionais e pequenos hábitos, é chegada a hora de revelar o gesto mais revelador de todos. Aquele sinal silencioso, mas inconfundível, de que seu gato não só gosta de você, mas considera você o centro do mundo dele. Mas antes, é preciso entender algo essencial. Relacionamentos com gatos não surgem prontos. Eles amadurecem, crescem, mudam. Nem sempre o vínculo começa forte. Na maioria das vezes, ele é construído em silêncio com paciência, respeito e esforço. É como plantar uma semente. Você precisa regar todos os dias, mesmo sem ver o broto, até que de repente, ele aparece. Número 3. Esteja verdadeiramente presente. A presença ativa transforma tudo. Muitos acham que o gato não precisa de atenção, mas a verdade é que ele observa quem realmente está envolvido com sua rotina. Um estudo comportamental recente revelou que os gatos tendem a criar laços mais fortes com aqueles que fazem esforço contínuo para entendê-los. Isso inclui adaptar a comunicação, aprender a diferenciar seus miados, perceber o momento certo de interagir e respeitar quando ele quer apenas estar ao lado, em silêncio. Você não precisa forçar, apenas estar. Gatos valorizam a constância mais do que qualquer demonstração esporádica. Entenda que nem todo gato ama ser tocado, mas quase todos apreciam saber que sua companhia é desejada. Alguns vão se aproximar e deitar sobre o seu colo. Outros ficarão no mesmo cômodo apenas para sentir sua presença. Em todos os casos, o importante é demonstrar que você o considera parte da sua vida. Seja ativo nos detalhes, conheça seus hábitos, esteja atento às mudanças de comportamento, celebre os pequenos avanços. Número 2. Cuide do bem-estar dele com excelência. Um gato feliz é aquele que tem suas necessidades respeitadas. Alimentação equilibrada, água fresca, caixa de areia limpa, brinquedos variados, esconderijos acessíveis e espaços elevados fazem parte da estrutura emocional do felino. Um ambiente estimulante, com pontos de observação e locais de descanso confortáveis, é uma prova prática de carinho. Você não precisa gastar fortunas, basta oferecer atenção e adaptar seu lar às necessidades do seu amigo de 4 patas. Além disso, a previsibilidade conta muito. Rotinas claras trazem segurança ao gato. Se você brinca com ele no mesmo horário, alimenta sempre nos mesmos momentos e o chama para dormir todas as noites, ele começará a antecipar essas ações com entusiasmo. Essa consistência constrói confiança, e confiança é a base do amor felino. E agora, o número 1. o gesto definitivo. Você saberá que se tornou a pessoa favorita do seu gato quando ele começar a trazer presentes para você. Não estamos falando de brinquedos espalhados pela casa. Estamos falando de atos instintivos, um inseto que ele caçou, um pedaço de tecido que ele encontrou, ou até mesmo um brinquedo que ele posiciona cuidadosamente na sua frente. Esses são sinais de que ele o considera parte de sua família, parte do território que ele quer proteger e agradar. Em muitos casos, esse gesto é mal interpretado. Alguns humanos se assustam, acham estranho ou até ficam incomodados. Mas, na verdade, o gato está oferecendo aquilo que na linguagem dele tem valor. Ele está dizendo: você é importante para mim, quero compartilhar isso com você. Outro gesto que carrega o mesmo significado, mas que passa despercebido, é quando o gato dorme profundamente perto de você. Ou ainda melhor, com a barriga exposta. Esse é o ápice da vulnerabilidade felina. Só fazem isso perto de quem eles confiam cegamente. Nesse momento ele está dizendo sem palavras: você é meu lugar seguro. E por fim, há um gesto ainda mais sutil, mas incrivelmente forte. O gato que te segue pela casa em silêncio. Ele não mia, não salta, não exige nada. Apenas anda atrás de você. Se deita onde você está. Aguarda perto da porta. Esse comportamento é típico de felinos que se apegaram de maneira intensa e silenciosa. E quando um gato age assim, não há dúvidas. Ele já te elegeu. Lembre-se, o amor de um gato não é barulhento. Ele não se expressa em saltos entusiasmados ou lambidas escandalosas. Ele se manifesta na rotina, no olhar calmo, no toque suave da cabeça, no piscar lento de olhos que dizem mais do que qualquer palavra. E se depois de tudo isso você reconheceu pelo menos um desses gestos, então parabéns. Você não só conquistou o coração do seu gato, você se tornou o humano mais importante da vida dele. Seu gato talvez nunca diga com palavras o quanto te ama, mas ele mostra. Se você quer continuar descobrindo esses sinais escondidos do comportamento felino e entender cada gesto como um verdadeiro "eu te amo", já deixa seu comentário contando qual atitude mais te tocou. E claro, compartilhe esse vídeo com alguém que também ama gatos. Aqui, a linguagem do amor felino é levada a sério.